on the Hawkeyes Sports Network. From Learfield, Iowa Hawkeye Softball is brought to you by Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Oak Knoll, an active life care community by University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. And by Iowa City Tire and Service, a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. Hawkeye softball is on the air.
Well, I thank you, Susan. It is about time for Game 2 to get underway of our Sunday afternoon doubleheader. First pitch was scheduled for 2:15, but they're still getting the field ready. And we're still waiting for our lineups to officially come in. Game 2, Game 3 of the series, Hawkeyes looking to avoid the 3-game sweep after losing Game 1 yesterday by a final score of 8-3 and getting shut out earlier today, 5-0. And if the Hawkeyes want to turn that around, they're going to have to do so both offensively and get some runs around, and defensively he's going to have to clean up. 5 defensive errors leading to all of the runs scored for Penn State. Not a single run in that game was earned. All 5 runs given up by Jalen Adams were unearned due to the 5 defensive errors from the Hawkeyes. The lineups have officially come in, and we'll share those in just a little bit as we're in our pregame show of Game 3 of this series. Iowa City Tire and Service is a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. And something unique that will be happening during this broadcast is that the Iowa women's basketball team will be playing in the national championship game. Tip off at 2:30. And here at the ballpark at Pearl Field, they are going to have the game on the screen, the big screen behind center field. And they will also be making announcements throughout the ballpark with our PA announcer. And as those go on, I will find appropriate times to share the score as well, but I'm sure you guys are all paying attention to that. Iowa softball, as starting lineups are about to get entered formally. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back for our first pitch of Game 3 between the Iowa Hawkeyes and Northwestern Wildcats. I'm Lucas Strain. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the number 1 automotive shop in Iowa City,
where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans-win.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect.
We are just a couple of minutes away from first pitch of Game 2 of our Sunday afternoon doubleheader between the Iowa Hawkeyes and Northwestern Wildcats. Starting lineups are officially in, and Coach Gillespie continues to tinker with her batting order, trying to muster a way for the Hawkeyes to score some runs. Shut out during Game 1 and left 13 runners on base a game ago. 6 just this last game. And it seems like a lot more than that, because these moments where they're leaving the runners on are very important. It's moments where they can tie the game almost. And as the lineups are officially in, I'll read them off to you as I multitask and put them in myself in my Game Changer account. As we're about finished up here, first pitch was scheduled for 2:15, but field took a little bit longer to get ready, so we're in a bit of a delay. As the Hawkeyes and Northwestern Wildcats are just about set to start off Game 2, Game 3 of the series. So for the Hawkeye lineup, the top 4 remain the same. Leading off is Nia Carter in right, batting second in center field, Tatiana Roman. Batting third at shortstop, Tori Bennett. And batting cleanup, here's our first change. It's still Grace Baines, who hit cleanup last game. But Baines, who has played third for the last, X amount of games of the season, has moved over to second base. Anna Streff, who had been playing second for Iowa, had a pretty rough game defensively in the field, making 3 errors. And also bunted into a fielder's choice, so Coach Gillespie giving her the game off to clear her mind. So Baines moves over to second. Denali Lecker moves one spot back up into the order. After being moved down to the 6 hole last game, she moves back up to the 5 spot. She's the designated player, and we'll likely see her coming out of the pen. Sammy Diaz moves down 1 from 5 to 6. She's playing first base as always. Briley Klosterman is back in the starting lineup after taking a game off. She's out in left field. Tristan Doster is behind the plate once more for the Hawkeyes. And catching and rounding out the lineup is Avery Jackson, who made her first start of Big Ten play last game. She is starting again here, but rather than playing left, like the utility player she is over at third, as Baines moved over to second base. So Carter, Roman, Bennett, Baines, Lecker, Diaz, Klosterman, Doster, Jackson, and starting in the circle for the Hawkeyes is Brianna Vasquez. Vasquez, this just a day after throwing 168 pitches on Saturday. We'll see how long of a leash she's going to have before Coach Gillespie runs with Denali Lecker. And we'll take a quick 30-second spot before we announce the Northwestern starting lineup. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans-win.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
And for the Northwestern starting lineup, as we're still waiting to start Game 3, Game 2 of our Sunday doubleheader. Northwestern starting lineup. Coach Drohan continues to tinker with things as well, but most of it has remained the same. Leading off in center field is Skylar Schellmeyer. Batting second at shortstop is Maeve Nelson. Batting third and catching, Jordan Rudd. In the cleanup spot and playing third base is Hannah Cady. In the prime RBI position over at first base is Nikki Cochran. And batting sixth in left field is Angela Zidak. So the top six have all remained the same in the lineup. Batting seventh and playing right field is Kelsey Nader. Now, Nader did play a majority of last game, coming in as a pinch hitter. She was the designated player, but in this game she gets the start out in right field. Kendall Peterson is batting eighth and will be the DP. This is where my mistake came in. She came in as the pinch hitter later in the game for Ayan Lindsay. Lindsay is the one out of the starting lineup in today's game for Northwestern. So batting eighth is Kendall Peterson, number 29 in the DP, and rounding out the lineup, as usual, second baseman Kansas Robinson, and pitching for Northwestern is number 24 Danielle Williams. Williams, the left-handed pitcher, a 3.04 ERA. She started yesterday's game against the Hawkeyes. She went 5 innings, allowing 1 run on 4 hits, and struck out 9 Hawkeyes. Has enjoyed a very luxurious career against Iowa. But coming into yesterday's game, in 7 career appearances against the Hawkeyes, Danielle Williams was 7-0 with a 0.23 ERA and 56 strikeouts. As Iowa takes the field defensively. We're about to get underway. Coaches still at the plate for their pregame meeting. Again, Northwestern's lineup. It'll go Schellmeyer, Nelson, Rudd, Katie Cochran, Zidak, Nader, Peterson, and Robinson will round things out. Iowa defensively. Around the diamond, from left field over to right, is Briley Klosterman, Tatiana Roman, and Nia Carter. Around the infield, from third over to first, is Avery Jackson, Tori Bennett, Grace Baines, and Sammy Diaz. Baines and Jackson, the highlight here, as Baines usually plays third, is playing second today. And Jackson gets her first game at third of Big Ten play. Behind the plate is Tristan Doster. Doster has now caught the last 19 games for Iowa, has been the starting catcher in the last 19. After she caught her first game February 17th, has become the primary catcher. And it's her spot behind the plate. And in the circle for Iowa is Brianna Vasquez. Vasquez, a 1.83 ERA on the season, 11-3 record in 88 innings pitched. It's her 16th start of the season. She's gone a complete game in 6 of them and has a pair of shutouts to her name. 88 strikeouts, which lead the team in 30 walks. And leading things off offensively for Northwestern will be the center fielder, number 8, Skylar Schellmeyer. Skylar Schellmeyer, the leadoff batter for Northwestern. And Brianna Vasquez's first pitch to her is outside for ball 1, official game time, 2:26. So a 1-0 count here, as Schellmeyer digs back in. Vasquez's pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. Got Schellmeyer to chase out of the zone. Last game, Schellmeyer went 1 for 3 with an RBI single to center field. She scored twice, also drew a walk. The 1-1 from Vasquez is a screwball outside. ball 2. So the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike as we get game 3 underway. The 2-1 is outside for ball 3. Vasquez falls behind 3-1 to start the game. It's 62 degrees in Iowa City, but it's still very windy. The wind is picked all the way up to 20 miles an hour, pointing straight north. So it's pointing straight out to that left field foul pole. The 3-1 is up high, so it's a leadoff walk for Schellmeyer, our second walk of the afternoon. It brings up Maeve Nelson, number 4, the shortstop. Nelson is a grad student from River Forest, Illinois. One thing that is a drawback in her season, she's tied for the 3rd most strikeouts in the Big Ten. Last game, she went 1 for 3 in an RBI. That RBI was her first one since March 4th. So in nearly a month, as today is April 2nd, nearly a month since she had her last RBI, and she gets one earlier today. Strike 1's called. And the count is 0-1 early. Schellmeyer stands on first. Nobody out, and there's a check swing foul ball, goes over our heads. And the count is quickly 0-2 on Maeve Nelson. Vasquez, who again pitched in yesterday's game, went 9+ innings, allowed 4 runs, only 3 of them were earned, and walked 4, but struck out 10. 10, the second most strikeouts for Vasquez on the season. She's into the motion, and the pitch is up high. The throw down to second for the stealing Schellmeyer is in time, and Tristan Doster throws out Skylar Schellmeyer for out number 1. Nice throw from Doster. And a nice tag from Tori Bennett, the shortstop. And that's the first out of the ball game. 1-2 count as the pitch was a ball up and outside. Great pitch to throw on from Doster, for Doster. And so it was a fastball up and out. The 1-2 is a called strike 3 on the changeup. So after a leadoff walk, Brianna Vasquez gets a caught stealing and now her first strikeout of the afternoon after throwing 10 yesterday. So it brings up Jordan Rudd, the Northwestern catcher. Rudd went 1 for 4 in game 1 with an RBI. And here's a weak ground ball to Jackson over at third base. Her throw across the diamond's a little low, but snagged by Diaz. So after the leadoff walk, Northwestern still goes 1-2-3 in the top half of the first as we head to the bottom half. Hawks and Northwestern are tied 0-0. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Hawks are coming up to bat for the first time in this game. Game 2 of our doubleheader, and in the circle for Northwestern is Danielle Williams. Williams, who started yesterday's game, went 5 innings, allowing 1 run on 4 hits, walked 3 but struck out 9 Hawkeyes en route to getting the no decision through 105 pitches. On the season, Williams has a 3.04 ERA with a 5-1 record in 55 1/3 innings pitched. He has 75 strikeouts to 15 walks on the year. And leading things off offensively for the Hawkeyes will be Nia Carter. Carter now a .467 hitter on the year after being all the way up to .495 at one point. Went 0 for 2 during game 1. Went 1 for 4 yesterday, and just 1 for 7 in the 2 games on Tuesday, so a bit of a rough week for Iowa's best hitter. 2 for 13 this week from the left-handed batter's box. So the lefty-lefty matchup between Williams and Carter. Carter shows bunt, pulls back, and the pitch is a ball. Ball 1. As the Iowa basketball game is about to get set as they play in the national championship game against the LSU Tigers. The 1-0 to Carter is outside. Ball 2. Carter, a player who likes to swing early in the count, but will be patient. She's not going to chase anything out of the zone. So the 2-0 pitch is up and in. Ball 3, so we'll see if Coach Gillespie is going to have... We're going to see if Coach Gillespie has Carter take the green light here. Iowa's been getting runners on. It's just the fact of pushing them across. The 3-0 pitch is pumped in there for strike 1. We say that they haven't been able to get people to score, and that's because they left 6 runners on base during game 1, and yesterday they allowed 13, and there's ball 4, so a leadoff walk for Nia Carter. And now it brings up Tatiana Roman, the Iowa 2-hole batter. Roman, the starting center fielder. She went 0 for 3 during game 1. We're going to hear a lot of offers. A lot of offers when I read off their stat lines from last game in the Iowa standpoint. Only tallied 3 hits. And the first pitch is a ball low. So the count is 1-0. And the 1-0 is taken by Roman. And it's inside for ball 1. So it's 2-0. And Williams is struggling to find the zone. Has thrown 7 pitches this far, but only one has been called a strike. And here's the 2-0 check swing, no swing. So it's 3 balls and no strikes. Second straight 3-0 count to start the game for Danielle Williams. Have to imagine maybe there is a bit of fatigue as she threw 105 pitches yesterday. And the 3-0 is a ball inside. So a quick walk, back-to-back walks for Iowa to lead things off in the first. So our Northwestern pitching coach Michelle Gascoigne is out there after 9 pitches thus far for Danielle Williams, 8 of them out of the zone. So Tori Bennett will bat now for the Hawkeyes. Runners on first and second with nobody out. And a situation like this often calls on a bunt, but you have to feel like Tori Bennett's not someone you want to have bunt. As the last couple games, she's been the only one who can really muster stuff across when there are runners in scoring position. And the meeting is over on the mound, so the left-handed Danielle Williams will try and figure things out. Have to imagine that Tori Bennett has the take sign. The first pitch she sees is inside for ball 1, so 10 pitches, 9 balls so far. One-0 count as Bennett gets back into the box. Last game, Bennett went 0 for 3. And she puts a bunt down the first base line, fielded, and we have a differentiating call. Base umpire says a tag was applied. Our home plate umpire signaled safe, definitely a tag was applied. I don't know, see what the home plate umpire saw, but not statistically, actual call, that is supposed to belong to the home plate umpire, because anything short of the bag, anything between home and first is supposed to be called by the home plate umpire. And it's everything after that where it's called by the base ump. Our home plate umpire called safe, the base ump called out. But after a short discussion, they ruled that Bennett was in fact tagged, which I mean she was. So it goes down as a sacrifice bunt for Bennett. And the Hawkeyes now have runners on second and third, and we just got an ejection. We just lost Brian Levan, and he's getting angry. He's going after all the umpires now. Brian Levan has been out on the field arguing with the home plate ump. The home plate umpire gave him an ejection, and now Levan is screaming at the base umpires, and now he's making the slow walk out there. I can understand why he's getting so angry. I mean, it is by rule not the base umpire's call. Can't hear what he's saying. Just saw how visibly angry he was as the ejection took place. And it's baseball ejection is something oftentimes used by baseball and softball coaches as a way to rile up your team, to get them going, used as a motivational standpoint. But Ryan Levan is gone from this game. So the Hawkeyes have runners on second and third with one out, and Grace Baines is at the plate. As I look out the window and see Coach Levan is being walked towards the parking lot. As ball one is thrown outside. Again, I wouldn't have bunted necessarily in that situation, as Williams had thrown 10 pitches, 9 of them were balls. I would have forced her to put something over the plate before I thought about bunting. Continue taking the free passes if she's going to give them to you. The 1-0 is thrown upstairs, and the count is 2-0. So Williams continues to struggle finding the zone. She did walk 3 players yesterday in her 5 innings. And here's a swing and a foul ball, hit it right off the ankle of Baines, who's walking it off. Walks down the first base line, is retreating back. And the count's 2-1. So Baines had the 2-0 green light after Williams had thrown 13 pitches, and only 2 of them were in the zone up until that point. So the count is 2-1. And here's a line drive down the left field line. It's going to stay fair, and it's going to one-hop off the wall. Both runs are going to score for the Hawkeyes. Baines slides in headfirst safely at second base, and Iowa's taking a 2-0 lead. A one-hop double off the wall down the left field line. Carter scores easily. Roman scored from second. And Grace Baines has a 2-run double to give the Hawkeyes a 2-0 lead in the first as the Yerfie hits. And now brings up Denali Lecker, the Iowa designated player. Grace Baines, the 2-run double, as Lecker fouls off the netting. Baines with her 19th and 20th RBIs of the season. Speaking of RBIs, here's the Hawkeyes' leading RBI player in Denali Lecker with the runner in scoring position. And she fouls another one off along the right side. Nice catch by a fan in the stands who brought his glove. That's what you bring the glove for, isn't it? So the count is 0-2. Lecker 1 for 2 in game 1 with a walk and a single up to center field. Takes ball 1 up high. Lecker looking to turn things around after what's been a struggle the last couple of games, and she swings and misses on one up in her eyes. So Williams gets her first strikeout of the afternoon. And Sammy Diaz comes to the plate now for the Hawkeyes, as there are 2 away and a runner on second. Last game, Diaz went 0 for 3. And Diaz watches the first pitch by for ball 1. Runner on second. Diaz coming into the weekend, or coming into today's game, that is, a .257 hitter. She hits a pop fly on the right side of the infield. Back goes Robinson, who makes the catch, but the damage was done as the Hawkeyes strike first on the 2-run double from Grace Baines. They score 2 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and strand 1. After 1 inning of play, Iowa leads it 2-0. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Leading off the top of the second for Northwestern is Hannah Katie. Katie is the third baseman for Northwestern, and the basketball game is just about underway between Iowa and LSU, the national title game for women's college basketball. The Iowa Hawkeyes and Caitlin Clark, Monica Sanano were playing in that. Katie, first pitch swinging, skies a fly ball into center field, which Roman easily makes the play on for out number 1. So now is Nikki Cochran, the Northwestern first baseman, who in game 1 went 1 for 4. As the Hawkeyes score the first basket of the game in the basketball game, we'll keep you updated as things go on. As strike 1 is pumped in by Vasquez to Cochran. Cochran went 1 for 4 during game 1, but drove in 2 runs. And she takes upstairs for ball 1. One count, 2-0 ball game. Remember, Brian Levan getting ejected a half inning ago, an Iowa assistant coach, as ball 2 was upstairs to Cochran. Two balls and 1 strike to the Northwestern first baseman. Cochran came into today's games as she fouls one off along the left side. Cochran came into today's games a .316 hitter. 24 for 76. She hit a home run yesterday, a solo home run over the left center field wall. The 2-2 pitch from Vasquez is another foul ball over the left side. And the ball is it was so close to getting caught in the fence. And it was a nice pitch from Vasquez. up in the eyes of Cochran. Got her to chase, but Cochran got just enough of it. The 2-2 pitch is an off-speed that skids across the dirt, so the count goes full. A nice battle here from Nikki Cochran, 2-strike approach. The full count pitch from Cochran. He is fouled off the netting right at me. So the count remains full with one away here in the top of the second inning in Game 2 of our doubleheader, Game 3 of the series. Northwestern took the first two, winning yesterday and winning Game 1 today. Hawkeyes looking to avoid getting swept. Here's a fly ball down the left field line, but it looks like it's going to fade foul and go over the wall. Sometimes harder to see down the left field line in this press box. But the count is still full. And as Cochran digs back in. And ball 4 on a changeup low and away. So Cochran draws the one-out walk, and Angela Zedak comes to the plate. Zedak 1 for 4 during Game 1. And Vasquez, who throws her second walk of the day, threw 4 of them yesterday. Pitched a leadoff walk today to Skylar Schellmeyer, who was later caught stealing for the first out of the game. So Zedak stands in the right-hander's batter's box, swing and a miss. Snap throw to first is a little late. So Doster trying to catch Cochran, flat-footed. Doster keeping Cochran close to the bag. Zedak steps back in with the 0-1 count. 0-1 is a little high, little inside. Doster behind the plate just signaled to Coach Gillespie that it was high. So the count goes 1-1. Iowa enjoying a 2-0 lead after scoring a pair in the bottom of the first inning. Vasquez into the delivery, and here's one off the fist, a pop fly that'll stay in the infield, caught by Grace Baines at second base. For out number 2 in inning number 2. So now Kelsey Nader, who started Game 1 as the DP, is playing in today's game as the right fielder. Nader's used 3 different ways in all 3 games this season. Came in yesterday as a pinch hitter, started today's earlier game as the DP, and is now the starting right fielder, and watches strike 1 go past her on the outer part of the zone. In Game 1, Nader went 0 for 3. The 0-1 from Vasquez. Nader shows bunt, pulls back, and the pitch is outside for ball 1. Nader coming into today's game a .293 hitter, 17 hits and 58 at-bats. It's her 22nd start of the season. The 1-1 from Vasquez catches the outside corner for strike 2. Home plate umpire has a longer delay. We have seen a lot of delayed strike calls from the umpires we've seen so far this season, but this is definitely one of the longer ones. It's a 1-2 count now to Nader. And she lines one into left field, but it's right at Briley Klosterman, who makes the left-handed catch. For out number 3, she was playing over towards the line, and that one was hit and where a left fielder would traditionally be playing. So she had to range over. But Northwestern goes quietly in the top half of the second. After 1.5, Iowa Northwestern are tied. Iowa has enjoying a 2-0 lead. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number one.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
Time for the bottom of the second inning as Iowa already leads it 2-0, and they're leading in the basketball game as well. 9-7 ball game with 6:40 to go in the first quarter. Caitlin Clarks had already hit one of her patented deep three-pointers. Briley Klosterman will lead things off in the bottom of the second for the Hawkeyes after they scored 2 in the first frame. Danielle Williams, the Northwestern pitcher, walked the first 2 Iowa batters. Then we had this sacrifice bunt from Tori Bennett, and all this chaos ensued, in which Brian Levan got ejected, Iowa assistant coach. And here's a line drive into deep center field off the bat of Klosterman at the wall, and it is gone. Let's see. You later. Briley Klosterman, a solo home run over the center field wall. I didn't think it had enough, but she just snuck it over that black padding, and Iowa's now leading 3-0. That is her second home run of the week after a home run on Tuesday against Nebraska. Klosterman now has a home run in today's game after sitting in game 1. That is Klosterman's third home run of the season, and as I said, it's her second of the week. And it gives Iowa the 3-0 lead. It was a line drive over the left center field wall, and that's one I think the wind probably helped with that one. The wind's blowing out towards left, and you saw a lot of slice on it. Off the left-handed poke from Klosterman. So Tristan Doster is up now. Watch a strike one go by. Doster at the plate went 1 for 3 during game 1. Swings and misses now, is quickly behind 0-2 after chasing a ball up and under her chin. Doster came into the weekend with a pair of home runs herself. Watches ball 1 upstairs. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Iowa and LSU are tied at 12 right now in the first, as there's a ball up and out from Williams, and the count is 2-2. Doster goes into her patented 2-strike approach, shows bunt, pulls back, and here's a line drive down the third base line, but it goes just foul by about 8 inches or so. Past the diving glove of Hannah Cady at third. So the count remains 2-2 to Tristan Doster after Briley Klosterman led off the second with a solo home run. Here's a check swing on a ball up in the eyes. No swing is the call. That one was pretty close. But our first base umpire says that Doster did not go around. So the count is full. Doster, a .317 hitter on the year, and fouls one off the netting to stay alive. And we'll do it all over again. Doster, the sophomore catcher, who has caught the last 19 games for the Hawkeyes. Watches ball 4 cross off the plate on the outside, so Doster has a no-out walk. Looks like we're going to have a runner. It's going to be Haley Down. Was waiting to see the number. Number 00 down will be running for Tristan Doster. After Doster draws the walk to follow up the solo home run from Briley Klosterman, who got game 1 off. Avery Jackson now, the third baseman, making her second start of Big Ten play. She's playing third base today. And the first pitch is way outside. Ball 1. During game 1, Jackson went 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a sacrifice bunt. As I said, during game 1, the bat has always been where Jackson struggled this year for Iowa. She shows bunt here, pulls back, but it's a called strike. That was more of a drag, less than a sacrifice. So it's 1-1. Jackson started her Hawkeye career 0 for 29. She shows bunt again. This one's popped up into the air. It's caught by the pitcher, Williams. And down slides head first safely back into first base for no double play. But Avery Jackson fails to get the sacrifice down. So there is one away now as the lineup turns over to Nia Carter. Runner on first as Carter steps in now. Carter, a .453 hitter who walked to lead off the game for Iowa and later scored. Watches ball 1. Carter came around and scored off the 2-run double from Grace Baines down the left field line. Carter still looking to get things going offensively with the bat again. The count is 1-0. She shows bunt, pulls back, and the ball is high. So it's 2 balls and no strikes to the Iowa leadoff batter. So the count's 2-0 to Carter as we have a conversation with the home plate umpire behind the plate. When he gets back into the box, as things get going again. The 2-0 is a screwball that cuts inside from the left-handed Williams, so it's a 3-0 count. Carter has now seen 7 pitches in this game. No, 8 pitches in this game, and only 1 has been a strike. As she shows bunt, pulls back, and it's called strike 1. So the count is 3-1. When you look at Williams' pitch count, she's thrown 37, and only 16 have been strikes. Here's a fly ball into center field. Shellmeyer ranges over, makes the catch battling the sun. 4 out number 2. So that'll go down as an L8 for Carter, maybe an F8. And Tatiana Roman bats now with 2 away. And down remains at first base. Roman, who also drew a walk in the first inning and later came around and scored. She takes first pitch she sees, down, tries to steal second, slides in safely. The pitch was a ball. That was a delayed steal from Haley Down. Didn't leave until until Rudd was already getting ready to throw the ball back. By the time she realized that Down was running down, it was too late. So it's a steal for Haley Down, her second steal of the season. And here's a line drive into left field from Roman. Down will stay at third as the outfield was playing pretty shallow. But a 2-out single from Tatiana Roman puts Hawkeyes on the corners. Brings up Tori Bennett, the Hawkeye shortstop, who hit that sacrifice bunt that caused all the chaos in the bottom of the first inning. She had the sacrifice bunt where she was tagged out by Cochran, and the umpires disagreed on what was happening. She shows bunt here, pulls back, and it's called a ball. Remember, the ball was picked up by Nikki Cochran, the Northwestern first baseman, who went to tag Tori Bennett. Our home plate umpire signaled Bennett safe. The base umpire signaled her out. And the two went together, had a conference, and agreed that it was an out. And here's a pitch that's outside, 2-0. So the two of them agreed to go with the base umpire's ruling, which was really, in fact, the correct call. But by rule book, anything short any tag plays between home plate and first base is up to the home plate umpire's discretion, and that's where assistant coach Brian Levan was getting so angry. And here's a sky-high fly ball into left center field. Schellmeyer, the center fielder, goes over, makes the catch for out number 3. But the Hawkeyes extend their lead off of the solo home run from Briley Klosterman. And after 2, hold a 3-0 lead over the Northwestern Wildcats. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Top of the 3rd inning here between Iowa and Northwestern. It'll be 8-9-1 due up for the girls in purple. Kendall Peterson will be the starting DP. And Peterson getting just her 2nd start of the season. After pinch hitting during game 1 and remaining in the game to hit a couple more times, is now the starting DP in this one. Watches the first pitch. A ball run inside from Brianna Vasquez. Update in the basketball game, the Hawkeyes are currently trailing 22-20 in what's been a very high-scoring first quarter. 1:45 remains. Vasquez's pitch. Peterson sends a line drive down the left field line, but it goes foul. One hopped off the wall, but it was about 10 feet left of the foul line. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the Northwestern 8-hole batter. 8-9-1 to start off the 3rd inning for Northwestern, who again won game 1 today 5-0, but all 5 runs were unearned. Used 5 Iowa defensive errors to score them. The 1-1 pitch is pumped in there by Vasquez, and the count's 1-2. Vasquez already has 1 strikeout on the day, but has also walked a pair. Vasquez's 1-2 pitch to Peterson is up above her head for ball 2. And again, we've seen this all season long. Brianna Vasquez, when she gets to 2 strikes, the approach is to throw it up high and in the eyes, but sometimes she just holds onto it a little long, and it goes way above their heads, and there's no reason the Northwestern Wildcats won't even chase it. The 2-2 is in off the hands and fouled into the netting for a foul ball. Kendall Peterson at the plate for Northwestern. Peterson had 10 ABs coming into today. And when she had 3 hits last game, she went 1 for 2 with the single to center field. And here's another ball thrown outside and in the left-handed batter's box. So the count is full. So full count to Kendall Peterson, who's leading off the top of the 3rd for Northwestern. Vasquez's pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. And that's Vasquez's 2nd strikeout of the game after throwing 10 yesterday. Now batting for Northwestern is second baseman, number 10, Kansas Robinson. Robinson, who went 0 for 2 during game 1. But She was hit by a pitch. Watches the first pitch go by her for strike one. Hawkeyes lead this game 3-0 after scoring 2 in the first and 1 in the second. The next pitch is a foul ball up and to my left. Goes into the stands. And the count is now quickly 0-2 to the Northwestern 9-hole batter. Robinson is a first year. Northwestern takes the unique approach of they don't want their freshmen to be called freshmen. They are called first years. And there's a ball up high, ball one. Northwestern still undefeated in Big Ten play. A perfect 5-0 to sit atop the Big Ten standings. Vasquez into the motion, and the pitch is an off speed and a hard ground ball back up the middle for a base hit. Off the bat of Peterson, Vasquez is angry with herself. That's an off speed that catches way too much of the plate, especially with 2 strikes. So a 1-out base hit for Robinson will turn the lineup over to Skylar Schellmeyer, who reached on a leadoff walk in the first but was later thrown out trying to steal. So here's Schellmeyer into the box. Left-handed bat. We'll see if maybe there's a drag bunt on the play. So first pitch she sees does not square around, and it's a called strike. Schellmeyer, we've seen the blueprint very much on display for Northwestern, and Schellmeyer gets on one way or another, usually a single, and then she's just going to steal second. And then after that, it's a bunch of small ball. The 0-1 is up high for ball one. So the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Hawkeyes very shallow defensively, especially in the outfield. Know that Schellmeyer does not have a lot of power. The 1-1 is taken by Schellmeyer. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. So the count moves 2 balls and 1 strike. Vasquez takes the sign into the motion, and the pitch is fouled off and out of play as the first quarter comes to an end between the Iowa women's basketball team and the LSU Tigers. After the first quarter, LSU leads it 27-22 in what has been a very high-scoring first 10 minutes of play. So the count's 2-2 here in Iowa City, though, between Iowa and Northwestern softball. And there's ball 3 outside from Vasquez to Schellmeyer. Again, there's 1 out and a runner on first after a 1-out single from Robinson. Iowa leads it 3-0 in the top of the third after scoring 2 runs off a 2-run double from Grace Baines in the first and tallying another in the second from a solo home run from Briley Klosterman. The full count pitch is a ground ball towards second base, hits past a diving Baines and into the outfield. Robinson stays at second, though, as Carter was playing pretty shallow and right. But that's another 1-out single on a hard ground ball back up the middle. And Northwestern has runners on first and second with 1 away, and Maeve Nelson is coming up now. Tristan Doster goes out to talk to Vasquez in the circle. Nobody else is there. No coaches are coming. So this is just a meeting between battery mates. So Maeve Nelson, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout in this one. In game 1, went 1 for 3 with an RBI and scored a run, and went 0 for 2 during yesterday's game. So runners on with 1 out. Vasquez into the motion. Pitch is up and near the lettering. Nelson gave an offer but didn't go around. Ball 1. 1-0 count. As Northwestern has 2 runners on. She watches another one go by, does Nelson, and the count goes 2 balls and no strikes. Vasquez's pitch count is getting pretty high. About to throw her 46th pitch of the day, this after throwing 168 yesterday. And this one is fouled off the hands and above the netting. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Two runners on, 1 out in the top of the 3rd inning. Maeve Nelson at the plate. Iowa wearing their all gold uniforms today. 8-5 this season when they wear gold. And there's strike 2 called to Nelson. That one right over the heart of the plate. Nelson just didn't pull the trigger. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. She calls time, steps out of the box, and now digs back in. Vasquez, and the pitch is fouled off. Got Nelson to chase on a pitch up in the eyes. Again, we know how much Vasquez likes throwing stuff hard up and in the eyes of batters to get him to chase. Nelson does, but she got enough of it and sent it behind the seats. Nelson really taking her time between pitches. Vasquez is somebody who likes to work quickly in the circle, but Nelson is really taking her time getting back into the box. She fouls another one off the netting, so the count remains 2-2. This is one where a pitch clock in the MLB would come into play a lot here. As we're still waiting, as Nelson is still not into the box yet. Vasquez is on the mound and been waiting. Nelson finally looks out towards the mound and is ready. So the 2-2 is a curveball that misses outside. So the count is full, and the Hawkeye faithful wanted that strike 3 call. But the count goes full with runners on 1st and 2nd. 1 away, and again, Nelson is really taking her time between pitches. Vasquez is in the circle, on the rubber, waiting for Nelson to be ready. She finally is, and the full count pitch is a line drive, hard ground ball to Bennett at shortstop. Fields it, takes it herself, and turns the 6-3 double play. A 1-hop ground ball to Bennett to her left, fields it off a 1-hop, steps on second herself, throws on the run, and turns the 6-3 double play and does it all on her own for the 2nd and 3rd outs of the inning. So in the middle of the 3rd, Iowa still leads it 3-0. 2 up for Iowa. Baines, Lecker, and Diaz. As you're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
To the bottom of the 3rd we go as Grace Baines will lead things off. She has a 2-run double already under her belt. A 2-run double down the left field line that gave the Hawkeyes a 2-0 lead after getting shut out during game 1. Danielle Williams is still in the circle for Northwestern. She pumps in strike 1. Williams has gone 2 innings, allowed 3 runs, and a large part of that is due to her lack of control. 44 pitches now, and only 45% of them have been strikes, less than half. As there's a ball upstairs. Count evens at 1-1. Iowa has retaken the lead in the basketball game. And as I say that, LSU makes a layup, so LSU leads at 31-30 as Bain swings and misses. And the second quarter is 2.5 minutes in. So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Grace Baines here in Iowa City between the Iowa Hawkeyes and Northwestern Wildcats. The 1-2 is a foul ball sent down the right field line. Just goes out of play. So as I said, Baines 1 for 1 today with a double. During game 1, she went 1 for 3. And yesterday went 1 for 2 and also walked 3 times. So reached base safely in 4 out of her 5 plate appearances. So Grace Baines, who has moved her way all the way up into the cleanup spot in this Iowa lineup, spent time in the 5-hole in the 6th spot, pops one down the right field line. Robinson, second baseman, goes over, makes a basket catch out in shallow right field. For out number 1 to lead off the bottom of this 3rd inning. And now brings up Denali Lecker, the Iowa designated player. Lecker is 0 for 1 with a swinging strikeout in the first. She went 1 for 2 during game 1, drew a walk, and that one hit was a blistering single back up the middle. One of the only 3 Iowa had during game 1. Watches the first pitch go low and inside for ball 1. It was an Iowa team that only had 3 hits. They've already matched that so far in this game. As Lecker fouls one off. Back behind the backstop, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1-1 count. The temperature is picked all the way up to 64 degrees here in the Iowa City Coralville area. As the 1-1 is taken outside by Lecker, 2 balls, 1 strike. So the temperature's reached up to the mid-60s, but it's the wind that's still proven to be the problem. It's 20-mile-an-hour winds pointing directly north, straight out into the left field foul pole. So the 2-1 is a weak ground ball to Katie over at third, who fields it off 1 hop and makes the strong throw across the diamond for out number 2. And now Sammy Diaz looks to help the Hawks avoid going 1-2-3 here in the 3rd. She steps in 0 for 1 in this game with a pop-up to the second baseman Robinson in her first AB. During game 1, Diaz went 0 for 3. First pitch she sees is a strike over the outer half. Yesterday, Sammy Diaz went 2 for 4 out of the 8th spot, which caused Coach Gillespie to move her all the way up to 5 during game 1. Slid back 1 more spot to 6 here. She pops one behind the netting. It just goes out of play. So the count moves to 0-2. The Hawkeyes lead at 3-0. Look at the basketball game. 6 minutes left in the second. And the Hawkeyes currently trail by 7. Caitlin Clark's up to 14 points for the Hawkeyes. Danielle Williams rubs her hand in the dirt. Has started to finally get some of that control back. She definitely lost some during the first. The 0-2 to Diaz is a line drive into left center field. That's going to drop. Shellmeyer can't cut it off, and it'll reach the wall. Diaz rounds first and has a stand-up 2-out double. That was a nice piece of hitting on an 0-2 count. one that Williams would want to have back. It was just right over the heart of the plate. Diaz kept her hands inside and on top of the baseball. Sent a liner out into left center, and Schellmeyer, the Northwestern center fielder, couldn't cut it off. And it rolled all the way to the wall. And Diaz was able to advance. It's Diaz's 4th double of the season. Check that, her 5th double of the season. Had one yesterday. First pitch to Briley Klosterman is inside for ball 1. Klosterman has the solo home run in the 2nd inning. They gave Iowa a 3-0 lead. As their 2nd home run of the week. And she walks to strike 1 over the inner part of the plate to even the count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Klosterman looks to make sure the Hawkeyes have scored in every inning, keep that trend going. The 1-1 is an off speed. That's a little bit low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Klosterman, the left-handed bat. You can see her jersey whipping in the wind. This strong 20-mile-an-hour gust as Williams steps off the mound. Calls time. The 2-1 is upstairs for ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike, and as I said, that Williams was finding her command again. She's back below 50%. So 3-1. And the pitch is up and inside, or no, it's called strike 2. Klosterman had already thrown her bat back to the dugout and was starting to take the elbow guard off, but the umpire said that it caught part of the zone. So the count goes full with 2 outs. So the full count pitch to Klosterman is inside for ball 4. Very similar spot. But this time the umpire calls it a ball. So it's a 2-out walk for Klosterman, who reaches base safely for the 2nd time today. And the Hawkeyes have runners on 1st and 2nd with 2 down, and Tristan Doster coming to the plate. Doster walked in the 2nd inning and went 1 for 3 during game 1. 0 for 4 yesterday, so 1 for 7 series thus far. A swing and a miss. Strike 1 on the off speed. So the count is 0-1 to the Iowa catcher, who watches the off speed go inside for ball 1 to even the count. So the count's 1-1. Northwestern straight up defensively, playing the pole just a little bit. As Doster takes time, steps out of the box, and now steps back in. The 1-1 from Williams is way up and in for ball 2. Count moves 2-1. The Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series is all about celebrating our student athletes as well as our state's corn farmers. Just like the Cyclones and Hawkeyes work hard all year to get ready for the season ahead, so do Iowa's corn farmers, growing a crop used in over 4,000 products. That's a win for all Iowans. And now there's a pitch outside to move the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. As Williams is in danger of walking the bases loaded. The 3-1 is swung on and missed for strike 2 from Doster. Doster seemed to be swinging for the fences on that one. That was a wild hack. And the count goes full with 2 outs, so the runners will be moving. You see left field is actually playing pretty deep now. Doster swings and misses for strike number 3. So Doster strikes out, swinging to strand 2 Hawkeyes, one of them in scoring position. Iowa gets no runs on 1 hit, no errors and leaves 2 on. At the end of 3, Iowa leads it 3-0. I'm Lucas Stray, and you're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
We all love a good win, catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We're through 3 innings here in Iowa City, as Iowa leads it 3-0 over Northwestern. Iowa looking to avoid the 3-game sweep, as Iowa basketball now trails the championship by 13 points to the LSU Tigers. This LSU squad, a 33-2 school, ranked 3rd. Their only losses of the year coming to South Carolina, who Iowa just upset as an 11.5-point underdogs in the Final Four just 2 days ago. And leading off the 4th is Jordan Rudd, the Northwestern catcher. She has a 1-0 count already. She's 0 for 1 on the day. She grounded out weakly to 3rd in her first AB. And watches another ball go outside, so the count's 2-0. Vasquez's pitch count is also getting up there. She's been struggling with command a little bit as well. 53 pitches so far, 30 of them strikes, so it's a 2-0 count right now. And now that is also a ball, so it's 3 balls and no strikes, as 3, 4, and 5 are due up for the Northwestern offense. See if Rudd has the green light to take a swing here. Northwestern trailing by 3 after winning game 1 5-0. The 3-0 misses inside just barely. So Rudd takes the 4-pitch walk to lead off the 4th. See if Rudd gets a runner for her, and she will. Can't see the number on who it is over at first base. And now we're going to have a meeting on both sides, so we'll take a quick break. And we're in the top of the 4th. Iowa and Northwestern. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
We all love a good win, catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
So the meeting's over, as Hannah Katie steps up now for Northwestern with a runner on first. And nobody out. That's Donahue, who's running over at first, following the Rudd walk. First pitch to Katie is a ball outside. Katie is a junior 3rd baseman, leads the team this year with 21 runs scored. The 1-0 is fouled off the end of the bat, so the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1-1 count. Vasquez takes the sign. Again, these Northwestern Wildcats are really making her take her time between pitches, as we got a foul ball here Just barely off the bat at Katie. But some of that I do have to argue is a little bit on Vasquez. She seems to be taking her time today a lot more than usual. She takes the sign and is now into the delivery. It's up and in the eyes, and Katie doesn't chase. Ball 2. Count is 2-2. Wind is picking up even more. 20-degree winds blowing out to left field. Here's a foul ball that goes over our heads. Katie 0 for 1 today. She flew out to deep left center field in her first AB. 2-2 count, nobody out, with Donahue on first base. The 2-2 is outside on the screwball, so the count is full. So the count is full with nobody out and a runner on first. Game 3 for a 3-game series. Northwestern winning the first 2. Here's a fly ball into left field. Wynn's going to carry it back. Klosterman makes the catch a little shy of the wall. Donahue retreats back to first, and there's one away here in the top of the 4th. So Nikki Cochran steps up now offensively for Northwestern. She has not tallied an official at-bat as she drew a walk in her first AB. She had a home run yesterday over the left center field wall. So the first pitch is a strike over the outer half of the plate, and the count is 0-1. Cochran, who's been swinging a very, very hot bat for Northwestern, 3 for 5 yesterday, and coming into the series was on a 4-game hitting streak where she was 9 of 12 with 3 doubles, a home run. Added to that total with a pair of singles and a home run yesterday. Doesn't go around on a pitch way upstairs out of the hand of Vasquez. Vasquez up to 65 pitches now. Not even through the 4th. So the count's 1-1. And here's a foul ball. So these Wildcats have really been able to hang tough with 2 this game against Vasquez, something that they really struggled to do yesterday as Vasquez tallied 10 strikeouts. The 1-2 pitch is a screwball that cuts outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away and a runner on first. Nikki Cochran at the plate. The 2-2 is chased by Cochran, but she gets just enough of it and fouls it off the backstop. So the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. As the basketball game has hit overtime, LSU just banked in a 3 at the buzzer to end the first half. They hold a 17-point lead at the half over the Iowa Hawkeyes in the national championship game. Here's another foul ball off the bat of Cochran. What is about to be the 7th pitch of this at-bat between Brianna Vasquez and Nikki Cochran. Maybe Vasquez can finally get her to chase and swing and miss. The 2-2 is fouled off again, so we're going to need 8 pitches to determine what's going on. Cochran does strike out, has struck out 10 times coming into the weekend. Left-handed bat takes the approach where she doesn't wear a face mask. So the 2-2 all over. And here's another foul ball. This time, she just poked her bat at it. So this will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Let's see if I can actually count that up again. Strike one looking. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat after 4 straight foul balls. 4 straight 2-strike foul balls off the bat of Nikki Cochran. So the 2-2 is a line drive into left field. Klosterman, who was playing the line, takes a diving attempt at it, misses it. It's going to roll to the wall. Donaghy's going to score easily from first, and now we got to play at the third. Jackson's tag is in time. So Nikki Cochran has the RBI double, but got thrown out trying to stretch a double into a triple. But Donaghy scores on the play. And they cut this lead to 3-1 Iowa. It was a nice relay from the Hawkeyes defensively. Tatiana Roman, the center fielder, went over his backup, hit the cutoff woman, and Tori Bennett, who made a perfect throw to Avery Jackson at third, who applied the tag. So it's 3-1 now as Angela Zedak steps in now, fouls off the first pitch. 0-1. Zedak is 0 for 1. She popped up to second in her first AB. Here's a line drive. That's going over the wall, no doubt. That was gone off the bat from Angela Zedak. A line drive to left center field. Clearly over the wall. And the Hawkeyes lucked out on the Cochran base running mistake. Because if she had not gotten thrown out at third and stayed at second, this would be a tie game. But it's just a solo home run off the bat of Angela Zedak. Zedak with her team leading 6th home run of the season. So the game is 3-2 as Vasquez throws one up high for ball 1. Kelsey Nader at the plate now, who's 0 for 1. She lined out to left in Klosterman. And her last at bat, left-handed bat, stands with an open stance in the box. And here's a pop fly that's going to stay on the infield. Miscommunication between the Hawkeyes, but Avery Jackson comes over and makes the catch. I thought that one might have gotten into foul territory, but it stayed in fair, and Avery Jackson comes in front of the circle to make the catch from third. But Northwestern gets 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors left, nobody on. As we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, Iowa leads at 3-2. Jackson will lead things off for the Hawkeyes. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
To the bottom of the 4th inning we go as Iowa still leads at 3-2. After Northwestern scored 2 runs in the top half, Avery Jackson will lead things off for the Hawkeyes. Danielle Williams still in the circle for Northwestern. First pitch is way upstairs, ball 1. Williams about to throw her 69th pitch of the game, and still less than half of her pitches have been strikes. So the 1-0 is taken outside for ball 1. Or ball 2, excuse me. Count moves to 2-0 to Jackson, who's playing third base today. Came in and caught the pop fly to end the last half inning. Started game 1 in left field. And this one hits her, an off-speed pitch that looked like it was over the plate. And the Northwestern coaches are going to come out and talk about it now. Coach Drohan. It looked like it was over the plate. But the umpire ruled that it hit Jackson. As the umpires are going to go and talk about it. And you can really see on the field, it's sometimes different with the softball uniforms because they're sometimes tighter, but with how loose-fitting these umpires' shirts are, you can see just how windy it is down there. So the umpires talk things over a little bit. Nothing changes, so it'll go down as a hit by pitch for Avery Jackson. So Iowa's got their leadoff runner on, and they turn the lineup over to Nia Carter. Carter is 0 for 1 today with a walk. That is the third time today in which Iowa's first batter of the inning has reached base safely. Nia Carter drew a walk in the first. Briley Klosterman hit a home run in the second. And now Avery Jackson wears one to reach base safely. Nia Carter squares, but pulls back. And it's a ball high, 1-0. So the count's 1-0. She goes to square, pulls back, but this one's called a strike on the outer half. So count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike to Carter. Carter still struggling to hit the ball. She gets a bunt down, puts it down the first base line, but it's going to roll foul. And so there's a discussion here going between the first base umpire and the home plate umpire. And they said, yeah, I thought that might have happened live. They're deeming that it hit Nia Carter, so she bunted it down the first baseline, and they're deeming that it hit her while she was out of the box. And if that's the case, then it's an out. And that's what they ruled, that it hit Carter out of the box. And this is the second time today where our first base umpire has overturned the home plate umpire's call on something that has happened between first base and home plate. Now, this is different from the first scenario in which that call is entirely up to the home plate umpire. This one is definitely one where the home plate umpire could ask for time. So now Carter's been called out. And now Coach Gillespie has just gotten a warning from the first base umpire, and Brian Levin's already been ejected, and now someone else on the Iowa squad's getting a warning. So Nia Carter is called out. It's not a foul ball. Jackson is brought back to first base after she had advanced to third, but it would have been a foul ball anyway. So she would have had to return to first no matter what. But so now Tatiana Roman comes up, and we have a strike called. All 3 games in this series have been very complicated in different aspects. Yes, here's a pitch that's called strike. That was a couple inches off the outside part of the plate to the left-handed Roman, but the umpire called it a strike, and the count's 0-2. Roman doesn't chase on the rise ball, up and away. So Roman is behind in the count, 1-2 with 1 out, and Avery Jackson stands at first. And she spits on one that goes foul. Nearly hits the Iowa dugout. That's something that we see Roman do quite a bit, where with her slap hitting approach, she just slaps one down the line, and it just goes right into the Iowa dugout. The 1-2 all over again is fouled off again. This one goes over the fence. Williams approaching her 80th pitch on the day after throwing 105 yesterday. Now, of course, softball pitches are quite a bit different from baseball pitches. As here's a weak ground ball over to third base. Katie charges, who was already playing shallow, and throws over in time. Hannah Katie, who has put on a showcase on how to play third base this weekend. So there's 2 away. Jackson advances to second base, and Tori Bennett will dig in now. She's 0 for 1 with a sacrifice bunt and a fly out to center field. So runner in scoring position with 2 outs has been the woes of this Iowa team this weekend. Really this week in total, if you want to include the Nebraska doubleheader on Tuesday. So it's a 1-0 count to the freshman shortstop. Tori Bennett takes outside. Oh, another one that's way outside and off the plate, but our home plate umpire has called it a strike. So the zone's getting expanded a little bit. So the count is 1-1, and this is an outside pitch. I'm going to wait. Nope, it's a ball. So the count is 2-1. Avery Jackson stands on second. Tori Bennett's at the plate. Hawkeyes lead at 3-2 in the bottom of the 4th. Danielle Williams, the left-handed pitcher, into the motion and throws one up high. Snap throw to second. Not in time to catch Avery napping. So the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Jordan Rudd, the Northwestern catcher, keeping Jackson honest out there. Counts 3 balls and 1 strike. First base is open with Bennett at the plate. Here's a line drive down the left field line, but it goes foul. She was way out in front of that off speed. Kind of lunged at it. Probably a swing she wouldn't want to take anyway. But so the count goes full. Bennett in the box and the pitch, and here's a fly ball into center field. Schellmeyer goes over and makes the one-handed catch. 4 out number 3, second time Bennett's flown out to Schellmeyer in this game. After 4 complete, the Hawkeyes lead Northwestern 3-2. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
Brianna Vasquez remains in the circle for the Hawkeyes as we go to the top of the 5th inning with Iowa leading 3-2. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Take a closer look and you'll discover the many connections you have to corn. And those connections translate into wins for farmers and wins for all Iowans. Share your winning moments using hashtag IowansWin. So it's a 3-2 lead for Iowa, who's looking to avoid the 3-game sweep and avoid the Sunday doubleheader sweep against the Northwestern Wildcats. Vasquez's first pitch of the 5th to Kendall Peterson is a ball up and out. Peterson is 0 for 1 during this game. She struck out swinging. The 3-2 is a changeup that's taken maybe high, maybe outside. But it's called a ball, and the count is 2-0. So the 2-0 is a screwball that is called strike one on the inner half. So the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Vasquez into the motion and the pitch, and here's a pop fly down the right field line. It'll stay in the infield. Baines goes over and calls off Diaz to make the catch. So that's the first out of the 5th. And brings up the 9-hole hitter in Kansas Robinson. Robinson's 1 for 1 today, who had a 1-out screamer back up the middle. Robinson went 0 for 2 during game 1, but is 1 for 1 today. Gets one off the fist, back into the netting. Is there room? Waiting for the call. No catch is the signal. And went with how this ballpark is set up. The bleachers are raised higher than the wall, so if there's stuff that's happening right at the base of the wall, you can't see it from the press box. So we had to wait for the umpire's call. But it was ruled no catch. Don't know if it hit the padding first. Don't know if it was a drop from Doster, the catcher. But it was just a foul ball. And there's a ball taken inside. So 1-1 is the count. Iowa LSU is underway in the second half. Iowa trails by 17 in the national championship game. Here's a really high fly ball back into center field. It's at the wall, and it is gone. And that's a home run from Kansas Robinson to tie the game. 20-mile-an-hour winds certainly help with that. Robinson, her first home run of her college career. Somebody go get that ball so she can put that in the case. First home run of her college career. Kansas Robinson ties the game with one swing of the bat. And Northwestern has come all the way back after trailing 3-0. And we're in the top of the 5th inning. Skylar Shellmeyer, the leadoff batter, is up now. She takes ball 1. Shellmeyer is 1 for 1 and is also walked. So a pair of home runs have tied this game for Northwestern. As Shellmeyer watches strike 1 catch the outside corner. Iowa playing very shallow defensively to Shellmeyer, who does not have a lot of power. Check swing, but just taps it back behind herself. So Iowa took a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning off of a 2-run double from Grace Baines down the left field line. Briley Klosterman extended the lead on a solo home run in the bottom of the second to give Iowa a 3-0 lead. Then an RBI double as a swing and a miss from Shellmeyer gets Vasquez her third strikeout of the afternoon. That's after throwing 10 last night. So Maeve Nelson comes now with 2 away. As I was saying before, it was a 3-0 game. And then Nikki Cochran had an RBI double to get Northwestern on the board. Angela Zedak hit a solo home run to left center field. The very next batter, as ball 1 is taken by Nelson, Zedak hit a solo home run to pull Northwestern within 1. And just now, Kansas Robinson hits the first home run of her college career to tie the game. And here's a foul ball off the padding. And the count is 1-1. It was a home run off the bat of Robinson that just seemed to keep carrying in the air. Roman, the center fielder, just kept going back and back and back before she finally just ran out of room. So the count's 1-1. Vasquez's pitch is called strike 2 on the inside corner. So the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Northwestern shortstop. The 1-2 is an off speed that Nelson's way out in front of, but she gets just enough of it and yanks it foul. So the count remains the same, and remember, Nelson is the one who really likes slowing down Vasquez, makes her take all the time in the world between her pitches. After that foul ball is still getting into the box as we speak and is just now ready. Vasquez into the motion. Here's a line drive down the left field line. It's going to fade foul. So we're going to do it all over again. 1-2 count. In the basketball game, Iowa trails by 19 to the 3-seeded LSU Tigers. The 1-2 from Vasquez is sent foul over the first base dugout. A couple of fans just getting out of the way. They don't want to make the catch. Northwestern crowd that has traveled well. Quite a few of them out in a pregame tailgate in the parking lot. They have, and it's looking like a football day out there where they bring one of their traveling flags. And here's an off-speed pitch that is just a little bit low. Looked pretty good. But deuces are wild, 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 count. Nelson finally getting into the right-handed batter's box. Waggles her bat around. It's a weak ground ball to Jackson over at third, who charges throw on the run. It's caught by Diaz. 4 out, number 3. Nice play from the freshman third baseman. So Northwestern ties it in the top half of the 5th. For the home half of the frame, Iowa has Baines, Lecker, and Diaz due up. This game is tied 3 apiece. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
To the home half of the fifth frame we go as Northwestern was able to tie things up in the top half. Due up for the Hawkeyes is second baseman Grace Baines, who's swinging it really well as of late for Iowa. 1 for 2 with a 2-run double in the first inning that put Iowa on the board down the left field line. She popped up to second in her second AB. First pitch she sees in the fifth is a ball low from the left-handed Williams. Williams has gone 4+ innings and allowed 3 runs on 4 walks, striking out 2, and 4 Iowa hits. Ball 2 low. The 2-0 to Baines is outside, ball 3. 4 walks already from Williams, but she's done pretty well after walking the first 2 of the game, and now we're going to have a meeting out there with Gascoigne. Northwestern is actually out-hitting the Hawkeyes. They're out-hitting them 5-4. With a pair of home runs. Iowa has a home run themselves, so. And in the basketball game, Hawkeyes are on a bit of a run, a 12-0 run to cut this LSU lead to 9. As the third quarter is about halfway over. Last 12.5 minutes. Iowa had gone on a 12-0 run, but LSU scores to put an end to that and leads back up to double digits. But here in Iowa City, Iowa and Northwestern are tied at 3 apiece. And Grace Baines is at the plate to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning for the Hawkeyes. And she's ahead on a 3-0 count. And ball 4 is a little low. So a 4-pitch walk, the 5th walk of the game from Williams. And now Denali Lecker is up for Iowa. Lecker is 0 for 2. She struck out and grounded out. Lecker, a lot of strikeouts so far this season. Big reason why she moved down in the lineup as she watches strike 1 on the outer half. Looked to be a little outside. But the zone has been expanded just a tad. The 0-1 to Lecker is a hard ground ball over to third base, and it gets past Katie. Baines is going from first to third. She'll stand up safely. Lecker has a stand-up double down the left field line. And now the Hawkeyes have runners on second and third with nobody out. That was a very, very hard hit ball off the bat of Lecker, who's now going to get ran for by Moss. So the Hawkeyes have runners on second and third with nobody out, and Sammy Diaz coming to the plate. That ball was hit so hard by Lecker. Katie at third base had no play on it. Tried to backhand it off of one hop. But it was hit so hard and so fast, the reaction time was just not quick enough. And Lecker had a stand-up double. We now have communications And it looks like we're going to have a substitute pitcher here for Northwestern. And we're also going to get a new pitcher for Northwestern. So Danielle Williams-Day is done. She's going to be replaced by number 26, Sydney Supley. Supley making just her 9th appearance on the season. A 1-3 record, 5.94 ERA in just 17 2/3 innings pitched. Northwestern has typically just used 3 pitchers all year with Henry, Boyd, and Williams. Supley, the 4th one up. 5 strikeouts to 5 walks on the season, has allowed 15 earned runs, as I said, over those 17 2/3 innings for an ERA just below 6. Supley is a left-handed southpaw. And the first batter she'll face is Sammy Diaz. Diaz, the Hawkeye first baseman, who was 1 for 2 today. She doubled into left center field and popped up to second. So runners on second and third. Corners are in for Northwestern. First pitch is an off-speed called strike 1 from Supley. It's Supley, spelled S-U-P-P-L-E, like supple, but pronounced Supley, like soup, and then Lee, Supley. The 0-1, here's a hard ground ball to shortstop. Nice stop by Nelson. Looks Baines back to third. And throws over to first in time. And that's out number 1. It was hit well, but perfect positioning for Nelson at shortstop, and was able to look Baines back to third. But now Briley Klosterman digs in for the Hawkeyes, who, remember, has a solo home run already in this game. The lefty-lefty matchup. Here's a line drive right to the first baseman, Cochran, who catches it for out number 2. So a pair of hard-hit balls for this Hawkeye team, but it happens to just be right at the Northwestern infielders. So after having runners on second and third and nobody out, back-to-back plays by the Northwestern infield puts the Hawkeyes in danger of stranding those 2 runners. Tristan Doster is up now. Doster 0 for 1 with a walk and a swinging strikeout. Supley's pitch is high, ball 1. Again, runners on second and third right now with 2 away in a tie ball game in the bottom of the 5th inning. Doster at the plate is ahead 1-0. The lefty Supley's pitch is called strike. A nice frame job by Rudd behind the plate to even the count at 1 apiece. The 1-1 is called strike 2 on the black. So nice placement here from Supley. So the count is 1-2 now to Doster. Supley into the motion and the pitch is way high. Doster does not chase. So the count is 2-2, deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on. The pitch is a foul ball. We're going to do it all over again. In on the fists. Doster was a little bit late, but got just enough of it. So we'll do it again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runners on second and third with 2 outs. Doster at the plate, and the pitch is a hard ground ball into right field. 1 run's going to score. Gillespie's waving her around. Moss steps on home safely. 2-run single from Tristan Doster, and the Hawkeyes take a 5-3 lead. Coach Gillespie's always aggressive on the base paths. No hesitation in sending Riley Moss, the pinch runner, out at second base for Lecker. And Tristan Doster with the big 2-out, 2-run single to retake the Hawkeye lead. Now it's Avery Jackson who takes the first pitch from Supley up high for ball one. Hawkeyes hold a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the fifth inning. And here's a fly ball into left field. Wynn's going to hold it up, but it's going to be an easy catch for Zedak. But the Hawks retake the lead. 2 runs off of the 2-run, 2-out single from Tristan Doster. And the Hawkeyes score 2. And we're going to have a pitching change when we come back. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
So the big 2-run, 2-out single from Tristan Doster, the Iowa catcher, retake the Iowa lead. And into pitch now for the Hawkeyes is Jalen Adams. Adams, who started last game for the Hawkeyes. Adams went 6 1/3 innings, allowed 5 runs, but none of them were earned. She struck out 2 and walked 1, but Vasquez is done for the day. Her final stat line: she goes 5 innings, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits, striking out 3 and walking 3. And leading off the top of the 6th for the Wildcats, it's catcher Jordan Rudd. So Northwestern, after tying things up last inning, now finds themselves trailing by 2. Weak ground ball to Jackson, who stumbles a bit, but recovers nicely to make the play. So a 5-3 putout on the first pitch of this game from Jalen Adams. Hannah Cady now in. The Northwestern third baseman, who's 0 for 2. Pair of flyouts to left and to center field. During game 1, Cady went 0 for 3. Yesterday, 1 for 4. So a 1 for 9 series thus far for the Northwestern cleanup hitter, who bats from the left side. Called strike 1 on the inner part of the zone. Quick update on the basketball game as well. Hawkeyes trail by 7 with 2:45 to go in the third quarter. The 0-1 is an off-speed. Might have been a screwball, but it's out of the zone. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Adams in relief, into the motion, and there's the off-speed, and it is called strike 2. You can always tell when that off-speed's happening because she slows the motion down quite a bit, but it doesn't do it right until the very end. With how fast her fastball comes in there, batters don't have that much of a reaction time. This one's way upstairs. I think she got amped up just a little bit too much for it. And she yanked it up high, way above the head of Cady. The 2-2 is a hard ground ball to Bennett at shortstop. Goes to the knee. Throw from the knee is a one-hop and a nice pick from Diaz. And a really nice play from the Hawkeye shortstop. It was a hard ground ball hit to Bennett. Had to range over to her right. Fell to one knee to make the play and knew she didn't have time to collect herself. So she makes the throw from her right knee on one hop and makes out number 2. So quickly 2 outs now in the top of the 6th. And Nikki Cochran is at the plate. Cochran, who had an RBI double to left center, and strike 1 is called. Cochran had the RBI double to left center that gave the Northwestern Wildcats their first run of the game. But after that double, she was thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple. The 0-1 is yanked high, and the count's 1-1. Iowa trails by 9 in the basketball game of that national championship to the LSU Tigers. The 1-1 is one of those off-speed changeups, and this one's called just a little bit high. And Doster behind the plate is saying the same thing to her coaching staff, that it was in fact high. So the count's 2-1. And here's a foul ball over the left side. So the count moves to 2-2. Monica Sanano has just picked up her 4th foul in the basketball game, and we all know how important she is, the Hawkeyes' second best player on the squad. And here's a 2-2 pop fly that's just going to go over the head of Tori Bennett, so that'll be a bloop single for Cochran. She's now 2 for 2 on the day. And a 2-out bloop single brings up Angela Zedak. And here's the danger of Zedak coming to the plate. She has a home run earlier in this game. A home run now would tie things. We'll have a pinch runner over at first base. Number 42, Ayanna Lindsay, is in to run for Cochran. And now Caitlin Clark has just picked up her 4th foul as well in the basketball game. So Clark, Sanano, and Warnock all with 4 fouls, and there's only a minute. There's still a minute left in the 3rd quarter. Have to see what Coach Lisa Bluter wants to do here. And this pitch is a little high for ball 1 out of the hand of Adams. Caitlin Clark was called for a technical, which is how that 4th foul was called. The 1-0 off-speed snap throw to first is late from Doster. So that changeup that we've seen a lot more so far in Game 2 than we did in Game 1 has missed a couple times. So the count's 2-0, and Adams' pitch is fisted off. It's in foul territory, but Diaz just runs out of room as it hits the top of the netting. She had a play on it. So count is 2-1 to Angela Zedak, who was 1 for 2 today, but remember that one was a no-doubt home run over the left field wall that gave Northwestern their 2nd run and cut it to a 3-2 game. Iowa leads it 5-3 now. And the 2-1 from Adams is pumped in there for strike 2, right on the black, just underneath the hands of Zedak. And deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Zedak will call time and go over and talk to her 3rd base coach, Coach Drohan. Stretching things out is Zedak, stretching out something on her lower part of her body. She's walking things off. And now the other Coach Drohan has made her way over. 2 Drohans on this Northwestern coaching squad. Head coach Kate Drohan, assistant coach Carol. See what the problem is. She continues to be stretching out something in her left leg. As a reminder, there's 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs, and the third quarter has ended in the basketball game. LSU has already scored 75 points. They lead the Hawkeyes by 11 with Hawkeyes' 3 leading scorers, all with 4 fouls, as they head into the final 10 minutes of the women's college basketball season. But here in Iowa City, Iowa holds on to a 5-3 lead, but the tying run is at the plate in a 2-2 count. And a foul ball goes over the screen. And the count remains 2-2. Adams into the circle. The 2-2 is a line drive to center field, and it's going to get over the head of Roman. It's going to one-hop off the wall. Lindsey's going to round third and score. So it's a stand-up RBI double for Angela Zedak, and the Iowa lead is 1. That was a rip off of the bat. It might have gotten maybe 25 feet into the air. And it just zipped through the air over the head of Tatiana Roman in center field. And it one-hopped off the wall. And the pinch runner, Lindsey, was easily able to score. So the tying run now stands at second base, and the go-ahead run's at the plate. Kelsey Nader watches ball 1. Nader is 0 for 2. The 1-0 is called strike 1. So it's 1-1. Nader is just a tick under 300 coming into the weekend. Has a pair of doubles. No home runs, so one swing of the bat will not likely give Northwestern the lead. As there's strike 2 that catches the outside corner. So the Hawkeyes are 1 strike away from holding on to this 1-run lead. One-two count. Adams into the motion, and there's the changeup, and she yanks it high. They continue to go to that changeup where she slows the motion right at the end as time's called, as we have some kind of trash and debris floating out in the right center field spot right on that Tiger Hawk. Umpire chases things down. Can't tell what it is. He just wanted to pick up a piece of garbage. At first thought, it was something circular and white. At first thought, I thought it was a beach volleyball. But so the count is 2-2 to Nader. And this one's fouled back over our heads. And we'll do it again. Busy first inning in relief for Adams. About to throw her 23rd pitch of the inning after throwing 101 during game 1 today. Adams into the motion, and the pitch is a screwball that cuts outside. Duster went for the frame, but it was outside all the way, and the count is now full as the fourth quarter is about to get underway between Iowa and LSU. 1-run game here in Iowa City. Tying run stands at second. Full count pitch from Adams. Line drive down the left field line, but foul. She continues to fight off pitches, does Nader, as do all these Northwestern players today when they get to 2 strikes. They've been very tough with 2 after striking out double-digit times yesterday. And a full count pitch hits her. No, it's going to be called a foul ball I thought it might have hit off of her shoulder, the right shoulder of the left-handed hitting Nader, but it actually hit her bat. So she's going to stay there, and the count remains full. The 9th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. The full count pitch is a line drive into center field. Zedek rounds third. She's going to score. Throw is not cut off. But the 2-out single from Kelsey Nader ties this game. Iowa, who had taken the lead, taken a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 5th inning, has given up both of those runs. And this game is now tied again. And in this 6th inning, Adams, who after quickly got the first 2 outs, has now given up back-to-back-to-back 2-out base hits. And the Wildcats have tied things. Northwestern, 5 runs on 8 hits. Iowa, 5 runs on 6. Iowa's had the benefit of a couple of walks from Northwestern starting pitcher Danielle Williams. Peterson skies one down the left field line in foul territory. It's caught by Klosterman. Couple feet left of the line, but Northwestern was still able to tie it up. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, we're tied at 5 apiece, due up in the home half. Carter, Roman, and Bennett, so 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
So Nia Carter will lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. Hawkeye leadoff batter. Northwestern just tied things up in the top half at 5-5. Carter spits on a foul ball down the third baseline. Carter is 0 for 2 today. She's walked, lined out to center, and tried to drag bunt in her last at-bat, and it was ruled that it hit her outside of the box. It was said so by our first base umpire, so she was called out on a very rare play. The 0-1 is an off-speed that is outside. Sydney Supley is still in the circle for Northwestern, the 4th pitcher used this weekend by the Wildcats. And here's a hard line drive that is caught by Katie. That is the 3rd time today where Nia Carter has hit a hard line drive right at Hannah Katie, the Northwestern 3rd baseman. 3rd time today. And you can see the frustration mounting for Nia Carter, who's not used to this lack of success. She's squaring stuff up, but she just can't seem to buy a base hit right now. So Tatiana Roman will dig in now offensively for Iowa. Swings and misses at pitch number 1. Roman is 1 for 2. Walked in the first and later scored. Singled on a line drive into left and is grounded out. During game 1, she went 0 for 3. The 0-1 is outside for ball 1. So this count is 1-1 in a tie game with one out in the bottom of the 6th inning. And this one's upstairs, ball 2. Iowa jumped out to the 3-0 lead. Northwestern eventually tied things at 3-3 in the top of the 5th. Iowa scored 2 to take a 5-3 lead before Northwestern tied things again. Ground ball over to third base, and Katie makes the play to continue what has been a very busy day for her over at the hot corner. So now Tori Bennett will come to bat for Iowa. Looking at how many different plays Hannah Katie has made in the field. 4 plays in this game alone, as the first pitch is a ball, 1-0. If we look at last game that is, Hannah Katie had 4 more plays. So 8 total plays thus far for the Northwestern third baseman. Foul ball off the bat of Bennett. So it's 1-1 with 2 away in the bottom of the 6th. Here's a fly ball into center field. Schellmeyer battling the sun, but makes the catch anyway. So the Hawkeyes go quietly, 1-2-3. And we head into the 7th inning. This game tied 5 apiece. 9-1-2 due up for Northwestern. I'm Lucas Strain. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/Iowans win.
So Kansas Robinson will lead off the top of the 7th. For Northwestern, last time up, she hit a home run to center field to tie the game at that point at 3-3. It was the first home run of her college career for the true freshman from Indianapolis. And started all 3 games in this series. And here's a hard ground ball to shortstop. Bennett diving throw from her knees is in time for out number 1. Diving stop, I should say, and a throw from her knees. And it's out number 1. And it's back to the top of the order. And Skylar Schellmeyer. Schellmeyer is 1 for 2. She's walked, singled, and struck out. And first pitch is a screwball taken outside, ball 1. Remember, Jalen Adams, who came in relief of Brianna Vasquez. She got the first 2 outs of the 6th inning before allowing back-to-back-to-back 2-out hits, which is how Northwestern tied the game. And this one's taken outside as well. Counts 2-0. Friday's game went into 10 innings of play. So both weekends in which Iowa has played Big Ten teams, they've had a game go into at least the 9th inning. Here's a fly ball into left field right at Klosterman, who easily makes the catch to retire Schellmeyer. And quickly 2 away as Maeve Nelson digs in. Nelson is 0 for 3, a strikeout and a couple of groundouts. Went 1 for 3 during game 1 and 0 for 2 yesterday. But she's not been hitting it all too great all season. 174 hitter coming into today's action. She watches ball 1. The reason she's up there is she has the ability to draw the walk. 18 walks this season to lead the team. And here's a ground ball to Bennett at short. Fields throw on the run is strong. And the out is made for the 6-3 putout. So Hawkeyes have a chance to walk things off now in the bottom of the 7th inning. We're tied at 5 apiece. Due up is Baines, Lecker, and Diaz. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Knowing that I can make a difference in my patients' lives keeps me motivated every single day. Hi, I'm Dr. Kanya Ferguson at University of Iowa Healthcare. With academic medicine, we see the toughest cases, so we're always innovating. And we bring the best minds together to collaborate, so there's more brain power focused on you. Because that leads to exceptional care for our patients and our community. See how at uihc.org.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
So leading off the bottom of the 7th inning for Iowa will be Grace Baines, the second baseman, as this game is tied at 5-5 in the bottom of the 7th frame. And here's a fly ball into deep right field. Back goes the fielder, but the catch is made just shy of the wall. And there's out number 1 as Nader makes the play out in right field. Now batting is Denali Lecker, the number 1 home run hitter this season for the Hawkeyes, still looking for the first one in Big Ten play. If you want to go yard card, now might be the time to do it. Lecker, the DP, takes first pitch up high, ball 1. As I said, Lecker, the leading home run hitter for this Iowa team. 7 of them so far this season. She's ahead 1-0 now, and here's a fly ball skied into shallow right field. Nader's coming in, calls everyone off, and it pops out of her glove. Lecker's going to advance safely to second base on the air. So now Lecker stands in scoring position in 1 out. A very pivotal error by the Northwestern right fielder. Lecker, who's running hard out of the box, makes her way all the way to second, and we'll see if Coach Gillespie is going to use a runner, and she will. So that means that's it for Lecker. That's what the hesitation was for. And we have a runner out at second base, and it's Echo Mattiello. So the game-winning run stands on second. And we're going to have a pitching change here. So Sydney Supley is done. Northwestern's going to put in who has arguably been their best pitcher of the season. Cammie Henry is now in the circle. But Supley went 2 1/3 innings, is responsible for Lecker on second. She allowed no runs on 1 hit. I didn't strike anyone out, didn't walk anybody. She simply came in there, pitched strikes, and retired Hawkeyes. But in pitching now is number 14, Cammie Henry. Henry, 8-1 record with a 2.09 ERA in 57 innings pitched. She struck out 37 and walked 12. Echo Mattiello stands as the game-winning run at second base. Sammy Diaz will come to the plate for the Hawkeyes. Diaz is 1 for 3. She's popped up, grounded out on a hard ball to shortstop, and doubled into the left center field gap. But Sammy Diaz at the plate with a chance to win it for Iowa. Northwestern defense. Shallow and right, deep and left with how strong the wind is. Henry's first pitch is up and out for ball 1. First base stands empty. Following the Nader error out in right field. Henry into the motion. And the pitch is inside, ball 2. And the count's 2-0. Iowa-based basketball game, that is. Iowa trails by 13 with less than 3 minutes to go. 2-0 count to Diaz, who takes ball 3 low and inside. So 3 balls and no strikes. Cammie Henry goes behind the mound to walk things off, looking to avoid the 4-pitch walk to Sammy Diaz. The 3-0 pitch from Henry is pumped in there for strike 1. Game's tied 5-5, bottom of the 7th inning. Echo Mattiello, winning run on second base. The 3-1 pitch is an off-speed inside for ball 4. So Sammy Diaz draws the 1-out walk. Not a bad walk for Northwestern as it puts the force play back on. So there's runners on first and second with 1 out. And Briley Klosterman is up. Klosterman, who already has a home run in this game. Briley Klosterman, a chance to win it now for the Hawkeyes as Mattiello stands on second base as the winning run. First pitch from Henry is called strike. At the lead, strike call from our umpire. Got to wait on anything borderline. And it was on the black on the outer half. And the 0-1 from Klosterman, to Klosterman that is outside for ball 1. The 1-1 pitch from Henry is an off-speed called strike 2. That was a pretty good placement there from the Northwestern right-handed. That was a off-speed that just caught the outside corner and make the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 to Klosterman is a ground ball to shortstop. Nelson throws over to third and it hits off Mattiello and goes to the fence. Mattiello puts the brakes on and stands at third. Nelson fielded it at shortstop, wanted to cut down the force out. The lead runner hits off Echo Mattiello, who was the Iowa runner, and it goes to the wall. That'll go down as an error. Charge to Nelson. The throw hits off at Echo Mattiello. But the bases are now loaded with 1 out, and Tristan Doster now batting. She watches the first one go upstairs for ball 1. Bases loaded in a tie game, 5-5, with 1 out. Chance to win it. Tristan Doster, who gave the Hawkeyes a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 5th. And here's an off speed that Doster watches cross the plate for strike 1. One count with 1 out, and the bases are juiced. Here's Henry's pitch, and it's up high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Henry, who's already walked 1. A walk here would win the game for Iowa. The 2-1 is swung on and missed for strike 2 from Doster. And the count is now 2-2. Doster has struck out once already today. A strikeout would be detrimental. The 2-2 from Henry. It's a line drive, and it's going to go over the head of Zedak, and Iowa's going to win this game. An RBI single from Tristan Doster sends in Echo Mattiello, and the Hawkeyes win by a final score of 6-5. The ball was hit so hard and so deep into left field that even if it was caught by Zedak out there, Mattiello was going to score no matter what. So the Hawkeyes win by a final score of 6-5. They avoid the Sunday sweep, avoid the series sweep, and the game is over. Hawkeyes win by a final score of 6-5, and Tristan Doster is the hero. The RBI single to walk it off. Echo Mattiello, the game-winning run, who was the pinch runner for Denali Lecker, who reached base safely following an error from Kelsey Nader, the right fielder. 2 Northwestern errors in that bottom of the 7th inning proved to be catastrophic as Iowa holds on to their victory and win by a final score of 6-5. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we're going to be back to wrap things up with our post-game coverage. Final score, Iowa 6, Northwestern 5. You've been listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
After a cancer diagnosis, it's natural to want to start treatment right away. But first, get a second opinion from a team that specializes in your cancer. I'm Dr. George Weiner, Director of University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center. Before you start treatment, you deserve to be confident you have the right diagnosis and know every option available to you. So whether it's with us or somewhere else, get a second opinion. It can change your care and your life.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
At Oak Knoll, our mission is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served Iowa City for more than 55 years. Our team helps residents create home by living our values of caring, respect, enthusiasm, awareness, teamwork, and encouragement. If you're looking at retirement options, visit our website at oakknoll.com. We want you to lead life your way. Go Hawks!
It's time for some post-game coverage here of Iowa softball. They win in walk-off fashion over the Northwestern Wildcats. Final score of 6-5. They avoid getting swept in the 3-game set. Avoid getting swept for the Sunday doubleheader. And give Northwestern their first conference loss in the Big Ten. Iowa gets back to 500 in conference play and even 4-4. They move to 22-15 on the regular season and knock off the 20th ranked Northwestern Wildcats. The winning run came via an error. So in game 1 of today's doubleheader, Northwestern scores 5 runs, all of them unearned. The run that eventually loses them the game in game 2 goes on as unearned for themselves defensively. As Iowa wins by a final score of 6-5, walk-off single into left field off the bat of Tristan Doster. Scores Echo Mattiello, excuse me. And Iowa wins by a final score of 6-5. They had the bases loaded with 1 out, following a pair of Northwestern defensive errors. And they're able to push across the winning run and stop the 3-game losing streak, avoid losing their 4th straight. As Coach Gillespie is wrapping up her post-game thoughts and will join us shortly up in the press box for our post-game interview. Talk about the walk-off home run. Remember, Iowa held on to a 3-0 lead after 2 innings of play. And Northwestern was able to tie things up in the top of the 5th, 3-3. They got solo home runs from Angela Zedak and Kansas Robinson. Robinson hitting the first home run of her college career. Tied things up 3-3. And then in the 5th inning, Iowa had runners on 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. A pair of outs in the infield. Threatened to leave the Hawkeyes, leaving them stranded. So runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, and Tristan Doster comes up to the plate and sends an RBI single, a 2-out, 2-run single into right field to give the Hawkeyes a 5-3 lead. Of course, Northwestern eventually tied things up again in the top of the 6th inning. Jalen Adams comes in relief, gets the first 2 outs in her relief appearance, but then back-to-back 2-out hits. Allows them to tie the game, and then, of course, the heroics in the bottom of the 7th allows Iowa to walk away victorious. Final stat lines. Of course, the player you have to mention first is Tristan Doster. Not only did she have the walk-off hit, but the 2-run single in the 5th that gave Iowa the 2-run lead. She finishes 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs and also walked once and was, of course, perfect behind the plate once more. Pitching-wise, Brianna Vasquez did well as the starter. She went 5 innings, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits, striking out 3, and walking 3 as well. Jalen Adams comes in relief, gets the win after blowing the initial save. She goes 2 innings, allowing 2 runs on 3 hits. If we look elsewhere offensively for Iowa, they had 7 hits in the game, get out hit by the Wildcats, but still are able to muster out the win. And one thing you got to keep your eye on is Nia Carter goes 0 for 3 as her struggles continue offensively. But Coach Gillespie has meandered her way into the press box as we are about set for our post-game interview. And Coach, I'm actually finally happy to be saying this one to you. How are you feeling after the win?
It was a tough game, and tell you what, Northwestern is still one of the toughest teams that we've faced all season long, and it was good to get that one game out of it.
Yeah, knocked off the 20th ranked Wildcats, avoid the sweep, and you do it in dramatic fashion. But I got to tell you, I was more nervous in the 5th inning. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, a pair of infield outs. But then who our hero was again, Tristan Doster. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, and Tristan just had a heck of a game today. He's had twice clutch hits in both those situations, being able to get us up on those counts. And I'm just proud of how she played today. Just really patient at the plate and getting her pitches.
Were you nervous ever at any point during the end of the game?
No, I don't get nervous on this. I'm not the one playing. So the girls we focus on them just being relaxed, being very focused at the plate, understanding what they're trying to do, moving runners, moving runners and getting those clutch hits. And we've been struggling at all season long, just those clutch hits. But today, Tristan came up twice and really helped us out.
Briley Klosterman, BK, had a really nice bounce-back game and a solo home run to give you guys what at that point was a 3-0 lead after getting the game off. Can you speak a little bit about her and how much she's grown?
Yeah, we made some adjustments on the infield today. I think you noticed we put Avery back at third base, and Grace can play pretty much anywhere on the field, and then she did a wonderful job back at second base, and that allowed us to put Briley BK back into left. And she made some great plays out there, came up, like you said, with that clutch home run. I think it even surprised her when she was rounding second base. It was a line drive over the fence, and I don't think she knew it was over. So she did a great job in just being in the game, just being relaxed and focused and playing her game. It was fun to watch the kids. They were into it. They were fired up this game. They wanted it.
So did you give a little fist bump when Nader dropped that ball out in right field to allow Lecker to get on second?
Absolutely. I mean, we've been doing that whole day long, so it's nice to see that, it's not just, everybody has those moments, looking ahead and trying to make that throw before you make the catch. So
on that play over at third base, did the throw hit Mattiello in the back in this last inning here? There was a ground ball to the shortstop, Nelson. And she went for the force play. Did it hit her in the back?
Yeah, so she was between the throws, so she basically threw it right at her, bounced off her. We had the chance of scoring her, got past her, but she did a great job sitting there and giving Tristan a chance to score her.
Gave her the chance, and she came up big. So the Hawkeyes win in dramatic fashion. Coach, thank you very much for joining us.
I just want to say, loved watching our basketball team. They fought hard today and was very excited about watching. We got a chance to see a little bit on the board, but we're excited about going home and watching the whole game.
Yes, they did end up losing, sadly, but Caitlin Clark scored over 30 points, was in foul trouble for much of the game, but one of two teams to be playing on the very last day that you can.
Yeah, just go Hawks, man. They are an incredible team to watch, and you've got the entire softball team got their back and excited for their experience.
Yep, they played the national championship. Well, we got to play two on a Sunday afternoon. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll continue with our post-game coverage. You're listening to Iowa Softball with Learfield.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number one.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City.
Where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye Softball.
We all love a good win. Catching up with friends, saving money at the pump, soaking up the perfect Iowa day, sitting down to a really, really good meal. These are the everyday delights that make us smile. These are the moments that connect us all as Iowans. And these are the wins that, more often than not, start with Iowa's farm families and the crop they're growing. Because when corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Learn more about how to share your own wins at iowacorn.org/IowansWin.
And we're back for our post-game coverage of Iowa softball. Iowa wins 6-5, dramatic fashion. Walk-off hit from Tristan Doster. Scores echo Mattiello, a game that was full of theatrics. And Iowa eventually comes down and wins one at the wire. Final score of 6-5. If we look ahead at the Hawkeye schedule, next week, Hawkeyes return on Tuesday. A road game, but they're staying in Iowa. They travel to Drake. So they'll be playing in Des Moines at 5 o'clock. And then next weekend is another road trip. They'll be visiting East Lansing to play the Michigan State Spartans. Will not be home again until 2 weeks from now. A 3-game series with the Maryland Terps here in Iowa City. So a couple of games to keep yourself entertained. But again, here in Iowa City on this Sunday afternoon, Hawkeyes split with Northwestern, avoid getting swept in the 3-game series. Win by a final score in Game 2 of 6-5. And that's going to do it for our post-game coverage. We thank you very much for listening to this broadcast of Iowa softball. I'm Lucas Strain. Remember, final score, Iowa 6, Northwestern 5. Thank you very much, and have a good night, everybody.
Iowa Hawkeye Softball has been brought to you by Homewood and Home 2 Suites, preferred hotel of the Hawkeye Radio Network. Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. When corn grows Iowa, Iowans win. Oak Knoll, an active life care community. University of Iowa Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. And by Iowa City Tire and Service, a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.